Have you ever thought about jumping off your seat and jumping around? If not, you should go listen to House of Pain's Jump Around. I think the song is funny, kind of fine, nothing too crazy. Anyways, hello everybody, this is That Manga Dude, and today we are going to be doing a good old-fashioned top 5 because I don't have enough manga in my head and or that I own that I could make a top 10 with. So we're going to be making a solid top 5. I hope you're excited for this. I guess you don't know this, but I do very much like making lists. I have lists for a variety of things, a lot of pointless stuff, but this specific one is obviously about manga, and this one is going to be my top 5 favorite blue manga. Blue. So what does that mean? It means any manga that has the word blue in it in its title. I have 7 manga that I believe that have the word blue in it, or at least the first word is blue. So there are 5 out of the 7 are going to be on this list. One of them is going to be pretty obvious. If you know my videos or if you know my tastes, you will know at least one of these. But hopefully I can surprise you with something that you don't know about manga or about manga that I tend to read. So yeah, let's not dilly-dally any longer. Let's get started right now. Alright, number 5. So, number 5 goes out to a fairly new manga that's actually currently releasing. It's a very enjoyable one. I have talked about it in quite a few recent reading logs, as well as its own FVI before I started doing the multiple volume FVIs. And that is going to go to Blue Box by Koji Miura. So currently there are 5 volumes out in English, and it's been a really enjoyable read for the most part. I actually really enjoy the nice mix of kind of everything. So let's go into it a little bit. Features the story of these 2 characters here on the front. The guy is a badminton player, and he's not super great, but he basically got motivated to get better at his sport after watching this girl become better at basketball and wanting to stay and go towards like the championship. But some unfortunate things happen, and her family is about to move away from this area and will have to leave her team and all this. But bada bing, bada boom, his family accepts her into their family in order to have her continue her education and be with the team and the friends that she's had this entire time. Meanwhile, it's important to note that he has a massive crush on her. So now that they live together, it's a little bit weird. But overall, I think the comedy is pretty solid. I think the art is very good, especially when they're doing the sports or showing off the sports. The badminton shots that they have in this series are very, very good. And I really do like the dynamic between these 2 characters, between him and the gymnastics girl, between him and his best friend, between her and her friends, and obviously her teammates. Overall, I really like the character dynamics and character stories. They're all really nice. The romance is fine. It's not like amazing or anything, but it gets the job done. It's definitely not weird or bad per se, so it's good to see that, to have a semi-normal crush instead of it being just like totally off the rails like some series can be. But overall, very good series. I've been really enjoying it. I know in my FVI I kind of was ragging on it a little bit, saying that it wasn't the best of the best in terms of being a sports manga or being a romance manga or being a comedy manga, but I think I've changed a little bit on that, at least after reading the first 5 volumes. I've been really enjoying it, so definitely worth a read if you like shonen stuff, if you like sports stuff, if you like a rom-com. Definitely give it a shot. It's pretty good. Alright, coming into number 4, this is a manga that I've not really talked about too much except for in my collection videos, but that's because I read it and finished it before I even started the channel. So let's get right into it. This is Blue Flag from Kaito. So this is I believe it's a 8 or 9 volume series. I don't know why I forgot this. I should have probably been looking at this before I even started talking, but whatever. Anyways, this is a nice slice of life drama series, romance series as well, featuring this character here on the front who has a massive crush on this girl here, Futaba, but as it comes to find out, she really likes Toma, who is this guy's main like best friend from back in junior high, and now they're in high school. And it's kind of weird because he likes her, she likes him, and it's just a little goofy love triangle going on. But I really like the character dynamics the most in this one. And yeah, I know it feels like I'm just repeating what I said about Blue Box, but Blue Flag is really good at developing relationships, not just like friendships, but also like the actual romantic relationships between some of these characters. And yeah, they feel real, they feel raw. There's a lot of like moments that are just really tense. And Tacos are pretty, like, I would say deep and pretty thought-provoking topics, and doing pretty well too. So overall, fantastic stuff going on with the characters, but that's just the characters though. The art is also really good. I didn't flip through Blue Box too much, but man, the art is very, very good in this one as well. A lot of really cute faces, just overall a lot of really good shots. The compositions are fantastic across the board, and the covers and spines are gorgeous. They're one of those ones where it's like you get to flip it and it goes all the way across, which I definitely love. This is probably my favorite out of the 5 series I'm going to show that has probably the best in terms of the spine and cover design. Fantastic stuff. It's really, really good. And I know people don't really care for the ending, or at least for the most part don't seem to care for the ending, but for me, honestly, totally didn't see it coming, and I think I actually appreciate it that way. I think the ending was a fun, like, a nice little bow at the end. Definitely something you weren't expecting, and you're just like, whoa, what? And yeah, I don't typically like plot twists in the final volume, but I actually think Blue Flag does it really, really well, and for the positive for a variety of characters. So you can really appreciate that. So Blue Flag, number 4, is definitely worth a read if you like your rom-com series, and it's pretty short too. Like I said, it's about 8 to 9 volumes. It's definitely worth it. All right, coming up to number 3. So I've mentioned this before, and I will probably be mentioning it again if I do another top series about this kind of stuff, but I really like music. I don't know, there's something about it. I really enjoy music across the board. I've always been really into music, and I like a variety of genres, and basically everything but country. Literally everything but country, because like I'll listen to like French music, I'll listen to German music, Japanese music, Korean music. I like just about everything. But I really do also like it when series and like any kind of media in general, whether it be like movies or books or manga, comics, or TV shows, are focused around music stuff, because I just find it to be really fascinating, and I really appreciate watching like people grow and become better at their specific instruments or whatever they happen to be doing. So this one is obviously a really big one, super famous. We only have one part of it currently. I believe there are 3 parts out in general, so I'm really happy that we even have this one in the first place, and that is Blue Giant from Shinichi Ishizuka. This is a very, very popular series across the board. We currently have a total of 10 volumes, which is, it's 5 omnibuses here. As you can see, it's a 1 through 2 for the first one. We go up to 9 through 10, which is the story of our boy Miyamoto Dai as he's learning to try to play the saxophone. At the beginning of the series, he is absolute butt. This guy cannot play save his life, but he shows a lot of heart, and he shows a lot of like push and ambition, which is always really great to see. I think Blue Giant's really, really good at portraying music within manga, because I know a lot of series have done that before. Of course, tons have done it really well, but I think Blue Giant is really, really good at just showing off like the pure power, the pure energy that music can bring to a space in general. It's really done well in the art. I don't know if I can like truly point it stuff out, but the art is really, really good. I super like it. I like the story as well. Story, like I said, follows the story about this kid who's wanting to go into playing the saxophone. He really hasn't found a passion for it just about anything else. So he decides to pick up the saxophone and falls in love with it. Obviously, he's not very good at first, but he starts to get better and better and better and better. Training with a variety of people, meeting a lot of people, starting a band with a pianist and a drummer that's his friend. Yeah, the story is really great. It's kind of like one of your classic, like, we just get better and better until we're the best. But I think Blue Giant is really good at, like, mixing in future stuff and current, like, information that we know about, because as you read, there's like these little passages between chapters that talk about some of the characters that you meet throughout the story. But in the future, when we find out that Dai is become famous, he's like one of the most famous Japanese saxophone players. So we get to see like how those characters are reacting to be like, oh yeah, I remember when I met him in this chapter. Obviously, they don't say that. They say like, oh, I remember when I met him back like 15 years ago or whatever, and he was such a great guy. Blah blah blah. I really could see the, you know, I don't know. It's just really cool, at least. But the art is fantastic. The story is great. The characters are fantastic and feel very real too. There are a lot of arguments and conversations that they have throughout the series that really illustrate just how difficult it is to be a musician or to be a popular / money-making musician. Basically everybody in the band has to have like a second job, so they're really just struggling with just being able to make ends meet while pursuing their dreams. So overall, fantastic series. It's really great. There's a lot of jaw-dropping moments as well. I think this is definitely worth a shot. Even if you don't really know anything about jazz, I would say give this a shot. It's fantastic. All right, number 2. This one's going to be mostly pretty obvious, and obviously the number 1 I think will be very obvious if you've watched anything recently. But number 2 goes to the fantastic series Blue Period from Tsubasa Yamaguchi. This follows the story of our boy Yuta. Yatora. Yuta is a different character. I don't know why I said Yuta. Sorry, Yatora. He is a high school student who is just kind of just trying to get by until one day he shows up at the art class and sees like this absolutely gorgeous painting, which totally gets him riled up and wants him to. He starts to pursue art as a mostly as a hobby at first, but then as a full-fledged career as we move throughout the series. We get to see his struggles through trying to learn how to paint because he is not good at all, as with most artists. That's usually how it works. But his journey and his story as of the 13 volumes that we currently have out in English, we get to see him really grow, not only as an artist, but also as a person. I think he's like so it's so easy to empathize and sympathize with him. It's important to note too, this series I think means a lot more to me as well, because I did go to school for art. I went through 5 years of art college and graduated with a BFA in animation. And it was the time of my life. It was super fun. I've met a lot of amazing people, including my fiance and like all of my current like friends. But it's not without its difficulties and struggling and imposter syndrome and looking at the people around you and seeing just how much more work you have to put in and struggling with trying to save money while also trying to pursue your dreams and career. And I think Blue Period really serves it really well in terms of how art college really is, because in case you don't know, later in the series, our boy Yatora joins art college and is struggling, like significantly struggling. He's like completely behind on assignments. He's struggling with creativity and trying to create something that the teachers will enjoy versus what he likes to make, and it's a lot. And it does it extremely well, almost to the point where I'm like, this is like almost mirroring my art college experience. Like the Tsubasa Yamaguchi just followed me around at school and then just wrote a book about me, because this is like basically what happened at least through my career at art college. And I think overall just the story is done really well. I think in terms of explaining like art concepts, it's done extremely well, especially things like color and space and positive space and negative space. It really explains art terms very simply and easily, so it's easy to digest for people who don't understand art, and a good refresher for people who do art for a living. And yeah, I think overall Blue Period is really good at doing exactly that, is being able to have you understand what these painters, what these artists, these sculptors, these people are all thinking about as they're creating art, and what they have to think about sometimes when they're creating these pieces. So I think overall it's fantastic. And that's not even to talk about the actual like visual art that's Tsubasa Yamaguchi managed to draw. There are some absolutely gorgeous moments here in this manga. Obviously the first volume doesn't have a ton, but there are definitely some really good shots like this one here. Yeah, overall, it's such a fantastic series. I could talk about this all flipping day. Blue Period could honestly have its own video on my channel, and I wouldn't even be mad. But that is for a later time. This is a top 5 series, or a top 5 video, so I have to get to my number 1. But Blue Period is a very, very, very close number 2. This series is fantastic. You should definitely give it a shot. If you don't like it, I totally get it. It's not necessarily a series for everyone, but like I said, this series means more to me than you may or may not ever know. And coming into number 1 should be really obvious. If you watched my top 10 manga of all time, one of them was very, very high, and it definitely deserves to be there, and that is the absolutely lovely, the wonderful, I couldn't put anything else above it, Blue Exorcist from Kazuo Kato. This is a 27 plus volume series. It is currently still releasing. We're going to have the 28th volume coming out soon, as of like September? Or October 2023, sometime this year, and I am beyond excited for that. However, talking about the series as a whole, Blue Exorcist is probably one of the best shonen series I have ever read. I believe I already mentioned this before in my top 10, but if you did not watch that video, let me give you a quick synopsis. This tells the story of Rin and Yukio Okamura, who are twins, or are brothers, not twins, sorry. Rin is basically the embodiment of one of the big boys down in down there down in hell. So he has the ability to summon these blue flames, and has basically this fire sword that is not supposed to be opened because it can basically invoke his demon side. However, he wants to become an exorcist in order to defeat Satan, to defeat Lucifer. And it follows his story as he proceeds to join the Exorcist school, and join, obviously, the Exorcists as they proceed to, defeat all the demons that try to enter the real world. But, man, Blue Exorcist does what Nintendo don't. I don't know what I was going with this, but Blue Exorcist is the perfect mix of action, of comedy, of romance, of drama, of slice of life, of character bonding, like of coming of age. It does everything super duper well. And that's just talking about like the bare basics, like the story. I really enjoy. There are a lot of just fantastic moments where we get to see characters really grow and really understand each other, where they get to explain and discuss amongst one another, and like we get to see like actual character growth and actual like relationship development, not just friendship, or not just like romantic relationships, but also friendships. I think like everybody is on a really nice path as we move into like the end game of the series, or at least what feels like the end game of the series. And yeah, I'm just kind of rooting for everybody. I think like every character is redeemable, or at least all of the main characters are redeemable, and they're all lovable, and they all get their time to shine, which is amazing because you don't always get that with shonen series. Sometimes you'll get like maybe 2 people who are like super like in the limelight, but Blue Exorcist does a really good job of giving light and like moments for everybody, because everybody is amazing. A lot of the characters are extremely well written. The female characters, thank bejesus, are written really well, which is, I guess, not necessarily a surprise for some people, but for a shonen series, that is a big surprise. For the female characters to actually mean something, and they do mean something in this series. They are really strong and they are amazing. Overall, fantastic stuff. The artwork, oh man, I will always talk about this series and its artwork, and it's like, how could you not? Because the artwork is so well detailed, its action is fantastic. There are so many beautiful moments just across the board. I could flip through this whole like volume and just be like completely taken aback, even after reading it for the first time, the second time, the third time. Just such beautiful detail in everything. Like Kazuo Kato, thank you for bringing this series to us. Blue Exorcist is absolutely fantastic and is 100% worth the read. I don't care what kind of genre or what kind of demographic you typically read. You should just check out Blue Exorcist. It is so flipping good. And don't just take it from me. There are other people who definitely agree with me, and they are right and they are correct. So yeah, that is my top 5 blue manga. So here they all are: Blue Exorcist, Blue Period, Blue Giant. This is gonna be hard to fit in one frame. Blue Flag and Blue Box. So those are all the blue boys. Yeah, these series are all really great, honestly, for completely different reasons too. This list is just kind of fun. It was just like kind of like a thing I thought about on the spur of the moment. That wasn't my typical videos, but I really wanted to do it just because it'd like be interesting to see how I listed everything. But yeah, these are my top 5 blue manga. What would you put as your top 5 blue manga? Are any of these on your top? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to know what everybody else kind of thinks about these series, especially Blue Exorcist. If you like Blue Exorcist, just go give it a shot, because Blue Exorcist is super good. But If you have not read any of these, you should definitely give them a shot and let me know what you think of them in the comments below. And you know what to do. You can like, you can comment, you can subscribe. Those are all amazing things you could do. I really appreciate it when you do any of those things. And if you decide not to do that, thanks for watching anyways. You are amazing. You are lovely. You are wonderful. That's going to be it for this video. Probably the next video is going to be the FBI. It might not be. We'll see. But don't take my word for that. So just go watch the next video or something when it comes out. But thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.